Good morning, welcome. Thanks for tuning in to Kila Chari Torah's daily review, daily counting the Haomer, Sefirat to Haomer for Thursday, the 28th of April. We note that today is Yom HaShoah, day of remembering the Holocaust. May humankind never know of such things again. Last night we counted 12 days of the Haomer. Hayom Shnei Masar Yom Shehem Shavua Echad V'chamisha Yamim LaOmer. If you look in your Sefira counter guide on page 286 of the Art Scroll Siddur, or whatever Siddur you happen to be using, you'll see that today's Sefira combination is Hod Shebegvura, humility and discipline. The trait of Hod is somewhat confusing. On the one hand, it means greatness, grandeur, and splendor. On the other hand, it implies humility. Usually we don't think those two go together, but the truth is that they are, or should be, very much fused. Think about the greatest thing about you. The greatest thing about you is that you can have this amazing, intimate connection with Hashem, who can make us into more than we could ever be without. God can bring us beyond our limitations in every which way. That very greatest thing about us is also our source of humility. Why? Because we realize that no matter how great we are, we know that we can never be anything without God's good graces keeping us going every day. Our greatness constitutes the source of our humility. That fusion is Hod. Today's Midah is the Hod of Gvura, humility in the discipline that we give. It's not a coincidence that in all 12-step programs, the sponsors are people who went through the program on their own, she writes, Mrs. Juravel, Hani Juravel, author of this book. That's why they're so effective. They don't make it about ego. The people they're helping know that their sponsors can feel what they're feeling and can get into their skin in a very humble and connected way. This is what we aim for when we need to demonstrate gevura and discipline to the people we love, either to give them limitations or boundaries, or to teach them what's appropriate. Discipline can often mistakenly stem from our own judging, need to control, or wanting another's image to be what we want it to be. When it does, our gevura lacks the humility that characterizes Hod. Ideally, we're looking to create that merge. So usually she gives a story, an illustrative example story. I usually don't read them because of the interest of time, but maybe today I glanced at it so it looked interesting, so I will read it as she writes it. I want to share a story with you. I have a dear friend whose child, as she always says, put her through what she calls, quote unquote, the spiritual Olympics. And that's putting it mildly. He put the family on a roller coaster of emotions, rehabs, worst-case scenarios. In the midst of the cyclone, my friend had to admit that she was just so angry about it all. What he did to her, how he made her question herself and her worth as a mother, what he put the family through, and how he tarnished that close-to-perfect picture that they had before. It was a lot. One morning on the roller coaster, my friend was davening. She said, Hashem, I know I'm not getting this right. I need to try something else. I need your help to try to see this child through your eyes. And something came to her. She went downstairs. She had moved his bedroom to the basement by then, trying to create some illusion of distance. It was 11:30 in the morning. She knew where he was. She knew what he was doing. She saw the smoke seeping through under the crack under the door. There was so much that he wasn't, and so many wishes that just weren't coming true. But then she knocked on the door, and she sat on the edge of his bed, and she said, I need to ask you mechila. I need to ask for your forgiveness. Surprised, he said, you need to ask me for forgiveness. She said, I want to admit something to you. Until now, all the discipline, all the stuff I've been trying with you has really been coming from me, for me. I just couldn't take who you are. I just want to ask for your forgiveness for not making it about you and the pain you must be in if this is where you are now. Nothing changed about her son right away, but she changed. They have a beautiful relationship today. My hero of a friend remembers that day as being the shift when she began to make it about him instead of about her or anything else. That is the feeling behind the Hod of Gvura. Sometimes you have to discipline people. You have to come up with a game plan, and you might not feel competent. I don't have the right role model. You might think, I don't have the authority. I'm not the perfect parent or the great leader. You don't have to worry about that. Don't think about what the perfect leader would do. Think instead about what you would do if you wanted someone else to do and make you feel as if you were the one receiving the discipline. How would you want the message to feel and sound to you? Once you're in that place of understanding and compassion for what you would have needed, you have all the tools it takes to inject your gevura, your discipline, with the humility of Hod. And the spiritual exercise, the call to action she gives for today, think of the last time you felt bad for disciplining someone. Imagine how you would have done it differently if you had focused on the beauty of her neshama, the fact that you're meant to be connected and your desire to be there for her in the way Hashem would want. Commit in some way to doing that next time around. Good food for thought. We'll take it to heart. Please God, it should help us all. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.